Hey there, friends, and welcome back to another 3-Minute Thoughts. My name is Derek, and in the next 3 minutes, we're going to take a look at both letters to the Thessalonians, all 8 chapters, written to a young church that Paul had a chance to start, and he had to leave far too soon. It's believed that he was only there for a few weeks while getting the church started, and then he wrote 1 Thessalonians to kind of help them overcome some of the challenges that they were facing in their early ministry days. And then again, a couple of months later, he writes 2 Thessalonians, a really short gap between these letters, but he wanted to correct any errors that might be present in this very young new church start. So in 1 Thessalonians, Paul starts by celebrating what God has done in them. These believers turned from idols, literal idols, to serving the living God, and their faith became so visible that it spread everywhere. For the first hearers, this wasn't bragging, it was reassurance. You really are the real deal, essentially, is what he's saying. Then Paul reminds them how he ministered among them, like a nursing mother and like a father with his children. He's establishing an element of trust. He didn't use flattery. He didn't take anything from them. He gave himself up for them. This mattered because critics were accusing him of being a fraud. In chapters 4 and 5, they address 2 main issues that are present in the Thessalonian church. One is holiness in a pagan world. Thessalonica was morally loose, put it mildly. Paul says it pretty plainly. This is God's will, your sanctification. He's not scolding them. He's giving them a new identity. Holiness isn't rule keeping, it's living as people belonging to Jesus. And then the second issue that he deals with is confusion about Jesus' return. Some believers had died and the church feared they'd missed out on the resurrection. Paul says, nope, when Jesus returns, you're going to know it, and so will they. 2 Thessalonians, by the time Paul writes the second letter, the persecution has actually gotten worse. So he starts by reaffirming their endurance, not their strength, but their steadfastness. Their ability to keep going was itself evidence of God's justice and his presence. There's some confusion about the day of the Lord. Some false teachers were saying Jesus had already returned. Imagine being a suffering church, young church, getting things started, thinking you missed the very hope you were waiting for. So Paul clears the fog. The day of the Lord has not yet happened. Then there's this problem of idleness. Some believers had stopped working because they thought Jesus was coming any minute. Paul reminds them of the rule he lived by. If you're not willing to work, do not eat. This wasn't harsh. It was actually a pastoral set of wisdom. The gospel doesn't make us passive. It makes us responsible, steady, engaged people who are there to follow God's lead. Paul ends by urging them to hold fast. Hold fast to the traditions, the teachings, all the things that he gave them, not about speculation or rumors or the things swirling in the world. He finally prays that Jesus himself would give peace in every way. Be well, friends.